What's up, guys? So we're back and we're gonna do a few more mods to the DOS gaming PC, which is more like DOS Windows 95 gaming PC, but you know, it's more DOS in my opinion because it runs DOS better than the following Windows, you know, 8 and or not 8, Windows 98. Anyway, I've got a couple updates before I show you what I'm going to be installing. So you can see I've got the monitor back up here now. I was using a smaller LED, LCD, and it was because this one was not showing the proper colors. And pretty much the reason behind that is I thought it was the cable. Well, it wasn't the cable. It turns out that it was just the monitor doing something weird. So it was either maybe with it sitting here for a while, or with me powering on and off a couple times, it brought the color back. It was missing the blue. So if I had a blue background, it would actually be black because it couldn't do the blue, and everything else wasn't the right color because it couldn't incorporate blue to make the proper color of all the colors, you know. So anyway, I was actually messing with it one day and powered it on, and it had the color back, and it's had the color ever since, and we're going on a few days now, and it's not had a problem, because I actually thought it was the cable, and I ordered another cable for it, but it was not the cable. Also here, I'll show you, I found these speakers at a local thrift shop, and they are Altec Lansing, so those are going to do until I can get my other ones fixed that came with this, because the other ones that came with it are actually better speakers. They got better drivers in them and everything, but these will work for now. They sound great and they look great, and they actually match the computer, because the ones I were using were black and they did not match anything, and it was kind of irking me. So anyway, we're going to do a couple upgrades today. We got a processor upgrade to do, and this is going to be the Pentium MMX 2. It's going to be a 200 megahertz Pentium with MMX technology, and what's in there now is 100 megahertz. So we're going to try to bump it up. I don't know if it'll take the full 200, but we're going to get it somewhere between 100 and 200. So hopefully if we can get around the halfway mark, we'll be good, because there's a lot of jumpers in there that we can switch around. So I'm going to try to get everything suited to what it needs. And as far as the processor goes, putting a bigger processor, we have to have a cooler on it. Now the MMXs came with a cooler on there when you bought the chip. Originally it came in a box, and one of these coolers with the fan on it came with it. Well, this isn't original to that or anything, because those cost so much money to get it all original like that. So I pretty much found the processor for really cheap, and then I picked up one of these for like $8 or $10. You can tell the box is completely vintage. I don't know if it's faded or if that's the color it is, but this one's going to work perfect for us, because it's not going to require any kind of modification to put it in the system. Basically it is a slot 7, which is the CPU in there. It's a slot 7, so it's got the right bracket and everything, and it's actually shorter than the cooler in there now, because the one in there now is just the heat sink. It's no fan, so it's actually about as tall as this with the fan. And now we've dropped that down a little bit to clear what's above it, which is part CD-ROM and part floppy drive. And then the way it connects is it just goes right into the 4-pin Molex, so we don't have to do any kind of modifications or anything. Pretty much we'll put it in there and put on some heatsink compound and put the new processor in, and then we've got an even bigger upgrade to go. I received in finally the Voodoo2 card, and this is the 8 megabyte Voodoo2, and this came out around 98 or 99, so it should be a substantial upgrade for this system. And this is what's going to run our 3D graphics. You can see it 3DFX. This is actually a Creative CT6670, which is still a Voodoo2, but it's just a little bit different model of it, I guess. It is the original card that was able to do SLI. This is the original graphics cards that could do SLI, so you could put two of them together and have you know, another one above it and run it like that. But how this one's going to work, so we'll run this pass-through cable that it came with. This is the original pass-through cable. We'll run that cable from our original 2D graphics cards in here out and into the back of this, and then from this we'll run to the monitor. So whenever it needs 2D graphics, it will call upon the 2D graphics card. When it needs 3D, it will call upon the Voodoo2, and we can run 3D graphics in glide mode, which is going to be beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So anyway, we're going to get started on that. First we're going to do the CPU, then snap it all back together, and then we will do that upgrade. So let's get started. So first, before I go any farther, I just want to check this processor once again to make sure there's no bent pins. Everything looks really good. I don't see anything wrong with it. So now I think we're just going to push this down, and that should unlock our processor. There we go. The processor is unlocked, and I do have some Arctic Silver that I will be putting on here. I don't see a bar or anything to unlock it. Yep, it's just got thermal paste, and it's it's still sticky. You know, that's pretty dang good for as long as it's been in there. So I'm gonna have some Arctic Silver to put back on there. So I'll take that and clean it up with some alcohol and get it ready. Now we got this little bar here on the side, and I would use my finger, but I can't quite get it in between there. So we'll just push this out and lift it right up, and that will unlock our processor for the first time probably since it was put in 94 or 95. And there we go. An original Pentium. It says 92 and 93 it's dated. And we're going to check to make sure everything will match up. And it looks perfect to me. There we go. The 200 megahertz Pentium is installed 100% now. Alright, so I was all out of Arctic Silver. I thought I had some left, but I do have some Cooler Master thermal paste. I don't think we'll have to be worrying about super high temperatures with this like we would with new processors that require something like Arctic Silver. But we're just going to go ahead and put about a pea size on here. Alright, so now we are ready. Clip the far side first. Push that down. Oh, it fits so beautifully. I'm going to use the flathead to kind of move the clip around if it needs it, because nope, it did not need it. Alright, so that looks good right in place. Alright, so I guess we'll go ahead and take off power from the CD-ROM. It's closer. And then this will plug right up to there. And then I will zip tie everything once I get it back in. So that's in. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the hard drive back in, CD-ROM back in, the floppy back in. Then we'll install the graphics card here. Alright, so another 5 minutes of reassembly. We are now ready to get the graphics card put in. So I've only got 3 ISA slots here and 2 PCI. Right now I've only got 1 ISA slot taken up by the sound card. It is the top slot. Basically, you can only use either 3 ISA slots at once or 1 PCI and 1 ISA, and that's it, because you're not going to be able to use either of the 2 ISAs on the top or bottom if you're using this PCI, and the same up here. So if I'm using this ISA, I can't use this PCI. If I'm using this PCI, I can't use these 2 ISAs or that PCI. So basically I can only put this card and my sound card back in. First we need to go ahead and take out the next plate. I think it's gonna go onto the bottom one. I'm not sure which yet. I'll have to put it in there. I think it lines up with this bottom slot, because the 2 PCIs are like right in the middle of everything. Yep, it is going to line up with the very bottom slot here. So I'm actually going to take, well, you know, I better leave that in there because I may lose it if it's not in there. It's not going to hurt anything staying connected, I don't think, because there's not going to be anything else connected to it. So I'll just kind of tuck it in here out of the way, just like that. It's all plastic, so it ain't going to touch nothing. Now we're ready to put our screw back in. You know, this is a heck of an upgrade for a 1995 Aptiva IBM Aptiva, because this is This is a hefty graphics card, and I'm almost certain that it's going to be not. I mean, it'll run it, but it's just too much for this, really. And I do have a Voodoo2 graphics card on the way, and I may end up switching it out with that one. It's only 4 megabyte, which effectively doubles the video RAM of my onboard, because the onboard is 2 megabyte, and the Voodoo2 is 4, whereas this Voodoo2 is 8. So I'm going to run this one and just see if it's really that big of a difference. I'll leave it. But if my hardware isn't really taking advantage of it, you know, because it's only a 200 megahertz Pentium 1. It's not a Pentium 2 and it's not a Pentium 3. And this, I'm pretty sure this will run on a Pentium 2 and a Pentium 3, no problem at all. Alright, now it's going to be a little bit more pointed at you. I may end up shutting the light off if you can't see very well. This is going to be definitely the first power up. Let me set this back up here. Turn the master power button on to the surge protector. Turn the monitor power on. And then we'll turn the speaker power on. And now we're ready to turn the computer power on. Hopefully it works. Alright, I saw a flicker, so that kind of tells me, yep, there it goes. It is working. You can see the beautiful IBM in blue now instead of the color it was. Alright, so let's go ahead and boot into 95. And I do have something that I could find with the drivers for the card I'm using. So this is the driver CD for the Creative 3D Blaster Voodoo2 CT6670, dated 3/19 of 99 for Win9X. Okay, so it is detecting it, so let's go ahead and put the disc in because it's ready for the drivers at this point. So PCI multimedia video device, which is what it is. Driver provided from disk by a hardware manufacturer. Let's select OK because we do have that. Let's browse, see if we can, if it can't find it, then I may end up using the exe, because I think it's an exe, so it may not find it. I may have to hit cancel and don't install a driver, and then I'll install it myself. No, it's not going to find nothing, so I'm going to hit cancel. Do not install a driver. Windows will not prompt you again. So now you can see the background on this screen. See how it's all blue like before, even though there's a little bit of to you it's gray, to me it's just more blue. This whole thing was black and you just couldn't see nothing when the monitor wasn't working properly, but now it is working beautifully, and you can see I've got a bunch of games installed on this side already, which there's already a bunch on there. I've got Duke Nukem, Doom 95, Killing Time, Descent, Siberia, Silent Steel, Leisure Suit Larry, Blood with all the add-ons. But yeah, this Windows 95 system is pretty snappy, really, for what it is. I mean, it's not slow at all. The only thing... Wow, that was loud. The only thing that's slow on it is when it first puts a disk in, it takes a minute to read it. But... Alright, let's go ahead and let it do that. That's what it wanted to do. Alright, we'll let it restart as well. Alright, so we are back in. This is another thing I love about this computer. This computer in particular has what's called rapid restore. So you can see it actually restored everything that I still had open that I was still doing even after it restarted the computer, which is awesome. You just cannot beat that. Alright, so Windows folder, and then we'll find our setup file right here. Let's see if it gives us an error this time. I hope not, because I don't know what else to give it. Okay, it's doing it now. So that worked. Now we're actually in the 3D Blaster Voodoo2 driver update. So yes, I'm pretty sure we didn't go through this last time. Okay, no we didn't, because that's the install stuff. So it is working. Amazing. Alright, let's turn this down before we restart now, because that was loud last time. I normally turn all those sounds off for starting and restarting, but you know, nostalgia. You gotta hear it once in a while. Even though that restart sound is so freaking loud when it gives that. The good news is the graphics card is working. The driver's installed great. So now all that's left to do is stick a game in that uses this, and well, I'll just run what I got on here. I think Doom 95 would use the glide drivers. Now hopefully this is in 3D. I don't know which games work with it, but I'm pretty sure Duke Nukem 3D should work with it, consider it has 3D in the title. But some of them take advantage of the glide stuff, and now that's just a video there, so let's hit new game and see what happens here. Whoop, hit the camera. Let me try to fix it a little bit better. Just by first look, I don't think it's using it. Let's go to the options, and details and everything's on high. I don't know. I don't know if it's using it or not. I don't think so. This still looks like it did before. And it looks fine. I just don't know if it's 3D. I don't know. I think it's still in. It's still in 2D, I think. Alright, let's go ahead and just run a different game and try. See what happens. Alright, so I went ahead and got Quake installed. I do have the disc for it and everything. Quake is amazing because it was actually, the music in it was done by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. So it does have some great music. So let's see if we can get it to launch. I did install it. Everything went fine. Alright, there we go. I just clicking the wrong start. Okay, hopefully this doesn't get copyrighted. That would suck. Okay, there's a video options down here. Let's see if that will do anything. No, I don't see anything for that. Let's go ahead and get started here and just see what happens. I don't know if it's using it or not. It's hard to tell. Alright, well, I don't know what to say. I'm going to have to figure out which games it works with and how to set it up, so I guess I'll try to get that done, then I'll get another video on it. The good news is everything's working. I just gotta figure out how to use the graphics card, you know, because like I said, it will call on the 2D graphics card for 2D stuff, and then when it's 3D it'll call on the 3D graphics card, the Voodoo2. So I'll figure it out and I'll get it set up, and then I'll show you guys some more video of what the difference is. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one.